let's talk about baking for a minute. Basically, Dr. Natasha gives us a basic bread recipe. She calls it basic bread recipe. You can make that into a myriad of different things. I call it the basic muffin mix, and it's based on almond meal. And I know that's not perfect for everyone, but for now, that's what we're going to work with. This is a little dough I made of almond meal and yogurt a couple of days ago. It's been just sitting there fermenting nicely. So that is yogurt and almond meal. The other thing we always add, I'm gonna add some cream as well, some extra, extra good fats, make it more creamy, make it yummy. And we always go for a a fat, an animal fat, or a dairy fat. And then eggs. So I'm going to whisk those eggs up. I'm just going to mix this to get it into a nice kind of a paste. And to sweeten it today, I'm going to use a banana. We can use, look how ripe these are. Look, they're beautiful. They're absolutely perfect. Oh dear, that one broke. Okay, we'll use that one. Look, lovely and brown, that skin means the banana is completely ripe, and it makes the most amazing sweetener. I'm not going to need any other sweetener in this. Banana's quite enough. So let's just mash that up a bit. And then we're going to add some eggs to this. Oh, I might put another banana in maybe. Yeah, I'm encouraging you to be an intuitive cook, so I'm not using any measurements here. I'm looking at the texture I've got. That looks like quite a nice texture. It's going to get a lot more liquid than that with the banana when the eggs go in. But I quite like the look of that. I'm thinking I'd like a bit more of a mix, so I'm going to put some more of my almond meal in. Might save that, make a bit of garlic bread later. I'm going to put another banana in as well. And then we'll whisk up our eggs. Oh yeah, look at that, nice. And then fold them in, because we'd like to get some air into our baked goods and gaps. They can be a bit lumpish, they can be a bit sort of heavy and lumpish, so we want to try and get some air into that, and it's the eggs that's going to help us do that. But if you can't do eggs, you could put some linseed or chia seed in it to kind of bind it a bit, and you'll have a little patty pancake thing instead of a sort of light fluffy muffin. But it's very difficult to get a light fluffy muffin on gaps, I have to say. Let me taste that. Yummy. Banana bread. I mean, that might not be sweet enough for some people, in which case you could pop a bit of honey in it if you want. There we go. A couple of eggs. And, oh, I forgot to plug in my machine. I think you'll agree that it's very useful having a hand blender / whisker. It's a really worthwhile investment, because actually on gaps we are processing a lot. We don't eat processed foods from the shop bought processed foods, but we do process our foods ourselves a lot. more I whisk that, the more bubbles it's got in it, the more it's going to give our baked goods a little bit of a lift. See how it's changing colour? It's going much lighter. Now, because I'm making this for my father-in-law, and I know he's got a sweet tooth, I'm going to put a bit more. I'm going to put a bit more sweet in, and I'm going to add a little bit of honey. I'm just going to put a spoon of honey in because I want his experience of this baked Gaps banana bread to be really pleasurable. When we're introducing these new foods, we want it to be a really lovely experience. We want people to go, oh my God, that's so yummy. And because we have these infantilized palates where we like everything sweet, most people can't handle something that hasn't got any sugar in it. So I'm just going to put this little bit of honey in. Okay. Of course, the other trick we can do. Yeah, that's lovely. The other trick we can do on Gaps to give a lighter texture is to add a tiny bit of bicarbonate of soda, and we bring that alive with vinegar or a lemon, a half squeezed lemon. So you could either squeeze some lemon in there, or I'm just going to put a splash of cider vinegar in it. Mix that in. And there's going to be a reaction when I mix the bicarb in with the vinegar. And I want to capture that reaction as the bubbles start to be created within the mix. I want to get the mix into my baking tray as soon as possible. So I have pre-prepared my baking tins, because I'm making a little banana bread. I'm going to make a kind of a loaf, so you can, don't forget your greaseproof paper, and try to remember to always grease the greaseproof paper a little bit, you know. Oh, it's a bit hot. It really helps, honestly. And then turn that off. Alternatively, you could make muffins, and then they're in, you know, easy to transport, single portions. They're great for lunch boxes, and again, you need to just give those a little grease. That'll do. I usually have a little brush that I do that with, but I left it at home. Just rub that good fat in. And waste not, want not. So, that is quite a wet mix. And when I put the egg in, that is going to be, I think the bananas have kind of melted down a little bit, so it's gone like quite a wet mix. So I'm thinking maybe I'm just going to add that in now to thicken it up a little bit. Okay, I'm liking the look of that. That looks nice. Now, I don't know what order to do this in because I'm doing both at the same time. Usually I do eggs or bicarbonate of soda, but I'm just doing both now to just kind of show you and see how it turns out. It might be a great success or it might be a complete disaster. I don't know because I'm making it all up as I go along. That's about, I don't know, a quarter of a teaspoon maybe. Mix that in. And then I'm going to fold in, oh no, I think I've got a hair in there. Yes, I did, I got a hair in no, disaster. Get rid of that. And now I'm gonna, not sure which way to do this. Eggs into the mix or mix into the eggs? Eggs into the mix, I think. You hear the bubbles popping already. It's quite a big volume there of egg. It's just 2 eggs, but because I whipped it all up, look at it. I'm just gonna fold it in. And already I can hear the bubbles popping, but I still think I'm gonna get a lot of lift from that. All in the name of getting a light fluffy cake, but you know, we'll see how this works out. I'm not usually this pernickety, but I thought I would do something a bit different. Usually I just chuck the almonds and the cream and the eggs and the butter in the bowl, mash it up, and then start adding what flavourings I like. Now then, I'll pour some of this into my, whoops, oh, disaster, darling. Oops, never mind. These things happen. You've got to roll with it, don't you? Okay, that'll do. That looks like a nice kind of sized banana bread. And then I'm going to make a few little muffins as well. Okay. That'll do. I'll show you what they look like when they come out the oven.